from Showboat Lanes in Las Vegas, Nevada, Prime proudly presents the Showboat Open, the third of 6 women's division qualifiers of the Brunswick World Team Challenge. You are looking at the newly renovated Showboat Hotel here in Vegas. This city where fortunes are won and lost on a daily basis, playing host to the World Team Challenge. And hello again, everybody. Jay Randolph along with Hall of Famer Paula Carter. And wonderful bowling. We've had a full field here this week, and we're now down to 3 teams. Paula, tell us about the teams we'll see in our first match.
Okay, Jay, in the first match, we're going to see Brash's Pro Shop. They got in by 5 pins in the final game, so they're pumped up and ready to go. Then we'll see them bowl against the Ebonite Omegas. On their team, they have 4 previous collegiate bowlers who are used to bowling Baker's system, and their 5th bowler is Leeanne Barrette, the superstar.
Yes, indeed. And in our number 1 position, a very strong team, the Windy City Bowling News.
Windy City led 90% of the match play. They're tough. They're ready to go. It's going to be a good tournament.
And a knowledgeable crowd ready to watch it with you. We'll be back with our opening match. Brash Pro Shops against the Omegas. Omegas +9. This is a 2-game match. The winner to go up against Windy City Bowling News for the championship. Janelle Poudry. This women's division event here in Las Vegas is the third of 6 in the 95-96 series of qualifiers for the Brunswick World Team Challenge. At a sold-out field here of 36 teams from 17 states, including 5 entries from the Nevada area. Ooh.
Well, the spares have been really tough this week, and as you could see that shot, she just let it go, and it just never came back. And I think nerves are still playing a real part in the early going here, especially for the girls who have never been on the show before, because under these lights, there's a lot of pressure.
Everding.
I don't know if this is Kelly's normal game, but she has a very slow approach, a pretty slow speed on the ball. And these days, with the reactive resin balls and the oil in the center of the lane, you usually see the ball with a little bit more velocity. So I don't know if this is just the way that she bowls or if she's going to have to pick up her speed a little bit.
That's a nice job there. Another member of this team that played at Wichita State University, where Gordon Vatican has done such a remarkable job through the years.
Jay, when you were talking about the bowlers coming from the different areas, a place called Bremerton, Washington sent 2 teams out here. They sponsored, their local association sponsored both teams, and a contingency of 25 people came to watch the 2 teams bowl.
Isn't that wonderful? And how about that? Nice job there for Jeanette Calhoun. Calhoun picking up the strike.
She came over on the Brooklyn side, but as I heard somebody in the tournament say this week, I'm not moving. So whatever gets the job done, do it, I guess.
Uh-oh. You just knew that wasn't going to come back enough for Lisa Skavinsky.
Well, it's possible she saw Carolyn Dorin play that shot, and maybe she thought it would work for her, but I don't think she got all of the ball on the release. It looks like she lost it a little bit on the downswing, and that's possibly why it stayed out there.
Looking at the 1-2-4-8. That's the way to pick it up. The Ebonite Omegas, it's their first time in the tournament and on television as a team. And of course, Brash Pro Shops were 6th in Vegas in '95, 10th in Indianapolis in '95 in the previous team challenge events. Strike, Julie Gardner,
She looked pretty
92
relaxed.
U.S. Amateur champion.
That was a very relaxed shot. You can see she went over her target about between second and the third arrow, and just a powerful, powerful strike. And she's happy about it.
Henderson strikes.
Boy, I like that girl's game. She's got a really, really good game.
Tara, along with Kelly Everding and Lisa Skabinski, all Wichita State University players in their collegiate days. And there it is for Stacy Rider. And Brosh now only up by 1 after this strike.
And they love Stacy. Look at those pins dance, and just watch her reaction. She's so pumped, and I think they had the most crowd following this week too.
Leeanne Barrette. A lot of rotation. And a strike for Leeanne.
Well, apparently she adjusted from that first shot that she just threw in the weeds, and she's back in her strike form.
Dina Brash Neiman. This lady had the highest average in Orange County in the 93-94 year at 216.
Well, you can see, you know, all these players, they've got a lot of practice time behind them, a lot of competition behind them. And I'm just so impressed when I come to this tournament that there are no bad teams that enter. There are no teams that, you know, take a chance and, you know, I want to take a chance on this and see if we can get lucky. I mean, these are good bowlers. They're great bowlers.
Well, the continued popularity of the World Team Challenge here, as we had a full house, a sold-out field here.
I think they could have had a few more teams here too.
Don't know where we'd have put everybody with a few more lanes.
I know I got shut out.
Going to have to knock out a wall, I guess, huh?
Yes.
Well, the renovation they've done here at the Showboat is just magnificent.
This is the greatest venue, I think, or one of the greatest venues for bowling.
.192. Brash Pro Shops here in Game 1. Carolyn Dorin, runner-up in the 95 WIBC Queens. She broke the state of Texas all events record, 2026.
That's when you say they put the hammer down. When you get that first hit in the 10th and you're on a couple of strikes, now you want to bury these people. You know, you don't want to give them a chance for that second game to come back.
68% almost there for Carolyn. She was in a position to strike out for a 34-pin lead for her team. Oh.
Very tough player. Just rips out the rack is what we call it. When they see the ball entering the pocket at the 17th board and you see that 5-pin, just goes over and knocks the rest of the pins out.
Well, of course, she's a professional. She's a money player, but these days when you talk about money players, you can talk about some talented amateurs too, can't you?
That's for sure.
Gotta hurry. All right. Oh, it went. The 7. Late. 224 for Ebonite Omegas. 192 for Brash. Game 2 of our first match will be coming up from the Showboat right after we take this timeout. Omegas +9. This is a 2-game match. The winner to go up against Windy City Bowling News for the championship. Janelle Poudry. This women's division event here in Las Vegas is the 3rd of 6 in the 95-96 series of qualifiers for the Brunswick World Team Challenge. At a sold-out field here of 36 teams from 17 states, including 5 entries from the Nevada area. Ooh.
Well, the spares have been really tough this week, and as you could see that shot, she just let it go, and it just never came back. And I think nerves are still playing a real part in the early going here, especially for the girls who have never been on the show before, because under these lights, there's a lot of pressure.
Kelly Everding.
I don't know if this is Kelly's normal game, but she has a very slow approach, a pretty slow speed on the ball. And these days, with the reactive resin balls and the oil in the center of the lane, you usually see the ball with a little bit more velocity. So I don't know if this is just the way that she bowls or if she's going to have to pick up her speed a little bit.
Does a nice job there. Another member of this team that played at Wichita State University, where Gordon Vatican has done such a remarkable job through the years.
Jay, when you were talking about the bowlers coming from the different areas, a place called Bremerton, Washington sent 2 teams out here. They sponsored, their local association sponsored both teams, and a contingency of 25 people came to watch the 2 teams bowl.
That's wonderful, and how about that? Nice job there for Jeanette Calhoun. Calhoun picking up the strike.
She came over on the Brooklyn side, but as I heard somebody in the tournament say this week, I'm not moving. So whatever gets the job done, do it, I guess.
Uh-oh. You just knew that wasn't going to come back enough for Lisa Skavinsky.
Well, it's possible she saw Carolyn Dorin play that shot, and maybe she thought it would work for her, but I don't think she got all of the ball on the release. It looks like she lost it a little bit on the downswing, and that's possibly why it stayed out there.
Looking at the 1-2-4-8. That's the way to pick it up. The Ebonite Omegas, it's their first time in the tournament and on television as a team. And of course, Raj Pro Shops were 6th in Vegas in '95, 10th in Indianapolis in '95 in the previous team challenge events. Strike, Julie Gardner,
she looked pretty
92
relaxed.
U.S. amateur champion.
That was a very relaxed shot. You can see she went over her target about between second and the third arrow, and just a powerful, powerful strike. And she's happy about it.
Henderson strikes.
Boy, I like that girl's game. She's got a really, really good game.
Tara, along with Kelly Everding and Lisa Skavinsky, all Wichita State University players in their collegiate days. And there it is for Stacy Rider. And Brosh now only up by 1 after this strike.
And they love Stacy. Look at those pins dance, and just watch her reaction. She's so pumped, and I think they had the most crowd following this week too.
Leeanne Barrette. A lot of rotation. And a strike for Leeanne.
Well, apparently she adjusted from that first shot that she just threw in the weeds, and she's back in her strike form.
Dina Brash Neiman. This lady had the highest average in Orange County in the 93-94 year at 216.
Well, you can see, all these players, they've got a lot of practice time behind them, a lot of competition behind them. And I'm just so impressed when I come to this tournament that there are no bad teams that enter. There are no teams that, take a chance and, I want to take a chance on this and see if we can get lucky. I mean, these are good bowlers. They're great bowlers.
Well, the continued popularity of the World Team Challenge here, as we had a full house, a sold-out field here.
I think they could have had a few more teams here, too.
Don't know where we'd have put everybody with a few more lanes.
I know I got shut out.
Going to have to knock out a wall, I guess, huh?
Yes.
Well, the renovation they've done here at the Showboat is just magnificent.
This is the greatest venue, I think, or one of the greatest venues for bowling.
.192. Brash Pro Shops here in game one. Carolyn Dorin, runner-up in the 95 WIBC Queens. She broke the state of Texas all events record, 2026.
That's when you say they put the hammer down. When you get that first hit in the 10th and you're on a couple of strikes, now you want to bury these people. You know, you don't want to give them a chance for that second game to come back.
68% almost there for Carolyn. She was in a position to strike out for a 34-pin lead for her team. Oh.
Very tough player. Just rips out the rack is what we call it. When they see the ball entering the pocket at the 17th board and you see that 5-pin, just goes over and knocks the rest of the pins out.
Well, of course, she's a professional. She's a money player, but these days when you talk about money players, you can talk about some talented amateurs too, can't you?
That's for sure.
Gotta hurry. All right. Oh, it went. The 7. Late. 224 for Ebonite Omegas. 192 for Brash. Game 2 of our first match will be coming up from the Showboat right after we take this time out. There's a wonderful lady who lives right here in Las Vegas, Joyce Deitch, WIBC president, member, of course, of Bowling Inc., and a person who really has helped the Brunswick World Team Challenge continue to grow. And the strike there for Lisa Skabinski. And with that strike, her team back up by 35.
And when they were bowling this week, you know, we saw that the lane condition wasn't that easy, but the pin carries good here. There weren't a lot of taps. Those light hits really carried.
Jeanette Calhoun lives in Lake Forest, California. She's a housewife and a mother and a very disappointed bowler after that.
Boy, those kill you. You know, those air balls, they just, fortunately she wasn't on a spare, so they didn't lose count. But for the mental game, you can't make mistakes like that. You know, you've got 2 shots in one game, and you've got to make it count.
The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and gets them all.
He says, "Where was I?"
Tara Henderson. Uh-oh.
They could have shut the other team out with that strike, I believe, but she went through the beak. And as I said before, I don't want to be redundant, but with those reactive balls, you're going to see a lot of leaves like this.
Well, talking it over, that's part of the chemistry of this team bowling. 4, 6, 7, 10.
She did what she needed to do, get the pin count at this point.
The lead is 17.
Doesn't she look like that Winona Judd
A little
person?
bit. Yeah, she does, Julie Gardner. She does look a little like Winona. I don't know if Winona could bowl like that, though. She might be able to warble, but I don't know about strikes.
Oh, what a pressure shot that was.
Boy, it was.
That was a slam dunk right when she needed it.
Barrette has had some problems.
Yes, she has. She's only thrown one ball in the pocket thus far, and she's gone through the nose her last shot. She found it.
Yes, indeed. Leeanne Barrette with the strike.
And how do you figure she's going to find that shot, but when she needs it?
National Director Pearl Keller right behind there. WIBC right behind Barrette. Stacy leaves the 10.
Well, that was their biggest ball of the game right now, and unfortunately didn't hit the pocket, didn't carry. So they are in trouble. She should be able to make this spare, as tough a competitor as she is. Well, there you go.
Oh, my. That really hurts. Now, Carolyn Dorin.
Okay, she needs 6 pins right here to win the match. And if I was a betting person, I think I would.
Which you are. She strikes, and that's the victory for the Ebonite Omegas.
I'm building a new wing out here.
Part of the renovation, huh?
Yes. Don send money.
Don send money, huh? 6 strikes in 6 shots for Carolyn Dorin. She has been hot, hot, hot. The string is broken. Our number 2 team, Ebonite Omegas, going to move on to go against Windy City Bowling News of Chicago in our championship match. Prize fund of over $12,000 here this week. Winning team here in Las Vegas. Of course, a trip to the Grand Championships in Louisiana in August. Total score of 410 for Ebonite Omegas.
And that's a good score in the Baker system.
There's the strike for Tina Brosh-Neiman.
Well, it won't help, but it'll make her feel a little bit better.
Her husband threw a clutch strike and did some fine work in the 10th frame in the match at Orange County. The men's team of Brosh Pro Shops, husband Andy. They won the Orange County qualifier. Boy, how about that?
The pins know. They know when you don't need them, they'll fall, and when you need them, they won't. Okay, with the strike, she's going to shoot 190. 189.
189.
381.
So it's going to be the Ebonite Omegas who move on into the championship match. Here's our final score, 410 to 381, a lead of 35. When we come back, of course, we're going to have news from around the bowling world. First, though, let's show you the other finishers in the women's division. These folks all participating and doing a very nice job at a high level of competition. We'll return to Las Vegas. Proud host of the 96 Grand Championships at Don Carter Lanes, Kenner, Louisiana, and the Pontchartrain Center in New Orleans. That, of course, comes up in August. Leeanne Barrette, 15 LPBT titles to her credit over the years.
Well, she's still having a problem. She's only hit the pocket, I think, one time, and she's really struggling out there. And for her, it's It's not common, so I'm sure she's very frustrated at this point. And then again, with the reactive balls, she leaves a split that's difficult to make.
The 2-4-10. And a reminder, we have a 2-game match for the championship. This is Suzanne Jeziorski, 31-year-old pro bowler from Buffalo, New York.
Well, she got a big break on that one. She went right on the head pin, broke down the split. She's going to go over.
Susan was the first woman to shoot an 800 series in an LPBT Eastern Regional.
800, that's something probably less than 1% of the population has ever had, or less than that.
You're right there. Windy City up by 1 here in the early going. Carolyn, 6 strikes in 7 shots. She has been double tough.
She just came in a little light, but she still threw the ball very well. And there's possibility maybe little carry down. That's where the oil just extends a little farther down the lane as the girls bowl on it. The bowling balls actually take the oil and move it farther down the lane. Or maybe she got a little quick. I mean, it's hard to tell right now.
Very fine performance, Carolyn Dorin. Our first look at Liz Johnson, the pro bowler from Niagara Falls, New York. She made Team USA '96 but resigned to turn professional. She's a 2-time national champion, silver medalist in the singles in the '95 FIQ World Championships.
I had never seen her bowl. I heard a lot about her, but this was my first opportunity to watch her bowl, and she's got a very good game. Doesn't do anything fancy, very quiet release, throws the ball, doesn't have that big hook so where you can get in a lot of trouble. A lot of people like to see the ball hook and cover all those boards. It might be pretty to look at, but if you look at the bowlers who are consistently winning tournaments, they don't hook the ball that much.
Not necessarily a beauty contest, huh?
No, it's not.
Match right now is even. And is it going to be 4 in a row? Yes, it is. 4 in a row for Kelly Everding.
That ball is so deceiving as you watch it go down the lane, and when it hits, it is so powerful.
Joey Biondo. Joey is just 23 years of age. He has a lot of experience.
Uh-oh, now that's not the break you needed.
No, I was just going to say that was a bad break.
That's a bad break. You like that buffer pin in the middle. It makes a spare a lot easier. She went in high, and the pin just came over and knocked out the pin in the middle, which was the 6 pin. And now she's got to fit it in, which she does.
Nice job. We've seen some outstanding spare shooting, and we'll be back with more in a moment. We were away. The Lisas performed. Lisa Skavinsky left the 8-10, and she ended up being open, and then Lisa Vint came through with a strike.
That was their first strike of that game. They had an all-spare game going, and I don't think they wanted that patch, really. But they got it going now.
That ball never got up for Tara Henderson.
Here's her release. Looks like she just went a little wide around the ball. Once you get around the ball, it'll start skidding. It'll never come back. You have to keep that thumb up. But I still like her game, no matter what she's doing.
Oh, look how well she's done shooting spares. Nearly 90%. Here's Vicky Greist.
She came up light. Looked like she just dropped that shot. That's where they wanted that double to go ahead by more pins than they already are, but they didn't get it. But it's an easy spare. She got lucky, and in spite of the 3-pound 7-ounce Brunswick pins and their new pins, they're flying around, and we love that. Bowlers love that.
Very close game at this point in the proceedings. 10 pins separating these two teams.
Well, let's see if Leeanne has found the problem. Much better.
Oh, yes. Score's dropping a little bit, Paula, but I suppose that can be attributed to nerves and the lane conditions changing a little bit, huh?
I think a little bit of both, Jay. Here it looks like she tightened up her line, moved a little more inside and threw it more direct instead of looping the ball. And she tripped out the 4.
Susan Jeziorski.
You know, bowling looks like an easy game, but there are so many variables that people who don't bowl really can't see. You know, we have hazards out there on the lane. You know, you go to a golf course, well, you see the trap and you see the water. You go out here on a lane and there's a conditioner out there, but until you bowl on it, you have no idea what's going on. So, you know, it's a tough game. It's always guessing. It's always new technology. You have to keep up with everything that's going on.
And you're always adjusting. And of course, when we play in this kind of format, the team challenge with the Baker system, is the opportunity to exchange a lot of opinions and get the information flowing. Carolyn Dorin. She could strike out for a 203. And she's just been magnificent here.
She has. I don't know statistically if there's been a person who has thrown as many strikes in 2 match, 1.5 match.
I can't remember
matches.
anybody. Kim Kennedy had some very strong performances, but this has been exceptional for Carolyn Dorin.
It's not unexpected because she is a pro and she's a great bowler.
Whoa, looking at the goalposts.
Well, that's all right. I mean, of course they would have wanted that strike, but if you had to leave it in a place, that might be one of the better places to leave it. 6-pin just lays there in front of the 10, right in the gutter. To me, that's the worst tap in bowling. I mean, I don't mind leaving 8 pins, 9 pins. When you leave a 7-10 and you've thrown it in the pocket, at least you want a spare.
A 190 game for Ebonite. And Liz Johnson needs a double to take the lead in the first game. Oh, she only needs a strike and a spare, excuse me. She strikes out, it would be 202. That's not what she was thinking about. She's looking at a 4.67 down there.
Well, at least she's got another game to go, but on that shot it looked like she just let off her speed a little bit. And, one minute fraction of an inch can make a difference between a strike in the pocket and going high as she did. But she'll settle for 2 and then look forward to the next game.
So it is 178 for Windy City, 190 for Ebonite Omegas. We'll be back. On hand here at the Showboat Lanes, very knowledgeable audience. They're enjoying this action. And to start it off now, Joey Biondo. Good way to get her team started.
She needs to get them pumped up, and she did it the right way. This is the greatest place to bowl. I mean, you know, you have so much equipment these days, and you leave it in your room, or you know, the hotel's right here. Everything's self-contained. It's almost like a city within itself.
A lot of tradition here over the years.
Yes.
Showboat and bowling synonymous here in Vegas with fun and excitement. Kelly Everding
now this
now
girl
with 5 strikes in a row. Huh?
She's something else. The ball did roll out toward the pocket. It means, Jay, what that means is when the ball starts to hook, and all of a sudden it'll stop, but it stops in the right place. It just stopped right at the pocket.
Lisa did not like that. She was not pleased.
At this point in the match, it's like whoever makes the first mistake is probably the underdog, because you just want to stay even, and you know that if you don't, the other one's going to hammer you.
Look at the spare stats for Lisa. She won 3 medals in the '94 U.S. Olympic Festival.
That is trouble. That is serious trouble.
24 pins, the lead for Ebonite Omegas.
I mean, they have plenty of time, but as I was speaking about momentum, emotions, it's a crucial time.
Lisa Skabinski with a strike can put her team up by 34.
One of the few, very few 10-pin taps.
This Windy City Bowling News team we mentioned first in Seminole, Florida 2 weeks ago. Lisa Vint bowling with 4 other bowlers. They were 3rd in the '95 Las Vegas events and Indianapolis events. A lot of experience on our #1 team, but right now they have their problems.
They do. Well, Lisa's the only actual member of that St. Petersburg team that returned today. She can put them together.
One previous winner is allowed to bowl in these events, but you can't represent 2 teams in the Grand Championship. You have to make a decision.
Now, they both did the same thing on that lane. The last 2 bowlers didn't even hit the head pin. So, you know, kind of makes me think that there's a possibility that the lanes are changing. Perhaps the oil might be carrying down a little farther.
Vicky Greist trying to pick up the 1-2-4-7. Doesn't do it.
And she just went right by that the head pin.
Match play records for these teams. Windy City 8-2. Brosh made a big move. They were 8-2. The Omegas 5-5 in match play. And there you see by round, Windy City's been up there on top.
They're not used to this.
No. A little problem there for Tara Henderson, the 3-6-9-10.
No, this is not an easy spare, Jay. It's a tough spare, and I noticed in her swing that time, her hand was already over the top of the ball before she released it. So the ball's going to go high. First, you want the ball to roll end over end, and then you want it to hook. And that one was already hooking early.
And she doesn't pick it up. Let's remind you about some upcoming events for the women teams in the Brunswick World Team Challenge. Do that here in just a moment. The lead now is 19.
And that gave him new life now.
Susan Jeziorski.
It's easy for you to say.
Well, not so easy. But, the '94 New York All-Events champion.
She'll just shoot cross lane at this shot. 6-10. Hopefully cover both of them.
Well, we'll be at Expo Bowl in Indianapolis in late February, the Diablo Lanes in Concord, California in May. And if you want to be a part of the Brunswick World Team Challenge, 414-423-3387. You can enter your team by calling that number and becoming a part of the Brunswick World Team Challenge action. Leeanne Barrette with a strike.
Oh, that's the Leeanne we know.
Picking her team up.
And you see Leeanne just releasing the ball. Nice arm swing. Just good extension. You want to get the ball through the head area, and that's the beginning part of the lane. And ideally, in the lane conditions we have these days, you need to do that. And as you can see by her knee bend and her follow through, she does it.
Liz Johnson with a problem, and she has left the 1-2-4-10.
And 3 of the last 4 bowlers on that lane did not hit the head pin, which is hard to believe.
This Baker system, of course, things can change very quickly, as we saw in our first match. Lisa's struggling. Or I should say Liz is struggling a bit. And the lead now is 35 for the Ebonite Omegas. Trying to come from the number 2 qualifying position and knock off the number 1 qualifiers, Windy City Bowling News. A strike here for Carolyn Dorin. Make the lead 45. Didn't quite get up.
No, it looks like she got just a little bit strong on that shot, but that still left a very makeable spare. And she was right around the pocket. You know, within a quarter of an inch, she'd have carried a light hit. And you're saying to yourself as you're standing there, don't do anything stupid. You know, just make the best, you know, possible shot you can.
.35 pins the lead for Ebonite Omegas. We'll be back. This is Joey Biondo. 5 frames left.
Well, something needs to happen because they're not at this rate. They're not gonna win this match. So far, they've had only 2 strikes in 15 frames.
8 spares have been opened 5 times.
Intimidation.
Joey picks up the spare. And we move over to Kelly Eberding. 90 Alberta Crow Star of Tomorrow Award winner. She has 5 strikes in a row.
Well, she throws the ball slow, and she probably weighs 100 pounds. And it just goes to show you that, you know, with the right equipment, practice, she's a heck of a bowler.
Spares in match play, 80% for Kelly Eberding.
She has a wrist device that seems to be able to position the ball in any way that she chooses to. Probably positions it straighter for her spares, and her first ball maybe cups it a little bit to get more rotation on the ball.
Lisa Vint and this Windy City Bowling News team, they've got to get rolling. Down 33. I'm wondering, do you suppose the presence of the 2 outstanding professionals on the Ebonite Omegas has maybe had a bit of an intimidation factor for our number 1 qualifying team?
Well, I think it does for some people, and being that this team has never bowled together, and you know, has a possible impact on that fact.
Well, a big strike for Lisa.
Very large, and they just can't stop. Now you get down to the nitty-gritty. Every shot's important. The nerves come into play a lot.
Lisa Skabinski. Right back.
That was just a pure shot under the amount of pressure she was under. Just to show these girls, no, we're not going to give it away. Nice follow through. Ball didn't go crazy. Perfect strike.
Now it's up to Vicki Greist for Windy City. And a strike. She'll take it.
That was the biggest Brooklyn she's probably thrown in a year. Right there. You can see she just crossed over the head pin, but solid Brooklyn, and she's happy, and she'll take it. It keeps them in the match.
Yes, it does. Tara Henderson. The lead is 23 for Ebonite Omegas.
Well, that was a deceiving shot because she had so many revolutions on that ball, and when it hit, I thought it was going to be a light tickler strike, and I think she did too. But right at the last minute, it straightened out a little bit, and she left the bucket, which is a choppable spare.
The bucket, the 2-4-5-8. She demolished it.
She's happy with that result.
I'll tell you. Here it is.
Oh, just barely. Barely got the 5 out.
Coming up just a little bit short that time.
That lane's a little squirrely, it looks like. You know, they're either going high, light. I don't think anybody's got the solution at this point, and they've only got the 10th frame left.
Susan Jeziarski picks up the spare. Leeanne Barrette now. The lead 24 for Ebonite Omegas.
All Leeanne wants to do is hit the pocket. Even if she doesn't carry, she just wants to stay clean.
Well, she was on the wrong side, but she got a pretty good break there. The pin action.
Well, I think, you know, at this point, Jay, the lanes might be changing. You know, it's hot out there under the lights, and the oil does move around out there. So she looked like she was lined in. She had gotten 2 strikes before, and now she throws a Brooklyn.
So we're coming down to Liz Johnson and Carolyn Dorin.
Well, if Carolyn or Liz Johnson strikes out here, she'll have a 180. And something drastic would have to happen for them to win.
Through with the strike. Liz needs to strike out to make Carolyn get 9 on the first ball. That's where we are.
Well, she almost caught a huge break on that.
She did, and it would appear that this Ebonite Omegas team has gotten the job done here. I'll tell you, all Carolyn Dorin will need is 4 on her first ball to wrap it up. Our #1 qualifying team, Windy City Bowling News, looks like they're going to get knocked off here, and this Ebonite Omegas team head in August to Louisiana. Carolyn Dorin, she's been magnificent.
If she gets 4 or more, they ought to buy this girl dinner.
Well, she can order up whatever she likes on the menu.
Yeah, because she's really performed here. They owe a lot to her. But it just shows you what practice, determination can do. Spare strike gives that team a 179.
Well, this is a splendid win for the Ebonite Omegas. Carolyn Dorin out of Richardson, Texas, finishing it up. There's a couple of LPBT national titles. And the victory is for Ebonite Omegas as they win at 369 to 348. And the crowd appreciates the performance here of the Ebonite Omegas, who have won the Brunswick World Team Challenge here at the Showboat Hotel and Casino and Bowling Center in Las Vegas. We'll return with our award ceremony right after we take time out for these. Bowling Challenge is brought to you by Brunswick. Bowling is sold on Brunswick worldwide. By Lynn Shoes. For the performance approach, it's American-made Lynn Shoes, the choice of top professionals and amateurs alike. By DBA Products, the industry leader in lane maintenance equipment, and by Women's International Bowling Congress and the American Bowling Congress, providing championship service to sanctioned leagues across the United States. Make sure your league is sanctioned by the national governing body. There they are, our champions, the Ebonite Omegas here in Las Vegas. A big, big win. And Carolyn Dorin, congratulations to you and your group.
Thanks a lot. We'd like to thank everyone associated with the World Team Challenge, especially Brunswick, for getting things going. We'd also like to thank Ebonite for sponsoring us and giving us the equipment to strike like we did today. And you'll see us again. We're gonna hang out again together.
Well, let's pass out the goodies. Elaine Hagan, First Vice President of WIBC.
Carolyn, heartiest congratulations from the Women's International Bowling Congress and from Brunswick on a wonderful victory. We hope to see you in Pontchartrain in August. Remember that. All right.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to be there. The Director of Bowling Operations here, of course, is our friend Jack Cook. And Jack, thanks for all of your help.
Thanks, Jay. Carolyn, congratulations. The Showboat staff has been proud to host this tournament this week. We want to wish you the best of luck in the finals.
Thanks.
And finally, Butch Whitman has the Lynn's jackets for you.
They look a little chilly up here, and these jackets from Lynn's will really satisfy your decor of your outfits. Congratulations.
Well, we don't want to get the Chamber of Commerce mad. The weather's been beautiful here. Carolyn, in this match, and actually in both matches today, Leeanne Barrette threw 4 strikes, and on 3 of the 4 occasions you were able to come back with a strike. You really had an outstanding performance. Yeah, she covered you and everybody else, I think, huh?
Well, I guess that's what team bowling's all about. I've been in that position before when we bowled team, and it's a very important position. So, really every position. You just got to work together and hope everything, gels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there isn't anybody I'd like in front of me or in back of me. That is Leeanne. So I think we all just worked together as a team, and we've bowled college together, and we bowled some doubles events off the tour, so I think we had real good chemistry. Well,
you did indeed, and you got the job done today. Again, our congratulations. We'll see you in August in Louisiana. The next World Team Challenge telecast is an open division event from right here at Showboat Lane. Check your local listings for dates and times. For Paula Carter, this is Jay Randolph saying so long from Las Vegas, Nevada, and reminding you this has been an ABC Eagle Productions telecast. Kelly Everding and Joey Biondo shake hands as this championship match begins to unfold in front of us here in Las Vegas.
Well, she has some bright green grips in her ball.
Yes, she's had 2 consecutive strikes now. Kelly Everding leading off for Ebonite Omegas. Make that 3 in a row for her.
I have to figure out how she can get the ball going so long with so little speed. That's something I need in my game.
Joey Biondo, administrative assistant, lives in Chicago. Her husband Vince, of course, a member of Team USA, 91 through 93.
Well, she crossed over Brooklyn, but that's all right. I mean, that's a decent shot for the first shot. Make the spare.
Many of you may remember this young lady as Joey Simpson, 92 U.S. Amateur Champion, 93 Team USA member. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. Contour Power Grips, pioneers in the finger grip industry, presenting the Windy City Bowling News, our #1 qualifying team. The lineup there. Lisa Skabinski. All right. Just did get up in time.
I like this pin action here at the Showboat. If a lot of houses could have this same type of pin action, scores could be a lot higher. But you don't always get the bounce. You have to make sure the gutters are in regulation. The side kicks have plenty of play in them. So what you try to do is you go all the way with the limitations that you can without, going overboard, so that you get in trouble. But here at the Showboat, the carry's great. The carry's been great all week.
Lisa Vint, bowling for Windy City Bowling News. Of course, she is the editor and publisher of the Windy City Bowling News, lives in East Troy, Wisconsin, along with her husband, Bill, editor of the ABC's Bowling Magazine, and they're a great couple. They do so much for bowling. Always fun to be with them.
And Lisa was on the team in St. Petersburg that won.
That's correct.
And what if they win today?
She will have to make a decision. She can't bowl on 2 teams.
Yeah, I guess that would be
in the
difficult.
Grand Championship. Tara, 2 opens in a row. And see, they'd be up by 11. Let's see, they're up by 11. They'd be up by 21 with a strike. Yes, all right, did get it. Well, they're the coaches, Pat Rossler and Palmer Falgren. Palmer, of course, professional bowler.
And they came out, the women came out 6th in the ladies' event. The men had a good showing as well. And they've been down to Florida doing exhibitions. They've been down to South America. They go all over the place.
Yes, they'll be going to Colorado Springs, of course, for training, and Team USA getting underway with their activities for the 96 year. This is Vicki Grist.
Interesting story about Vicki. She was also an academic All-American as well.
Let me pronounce that correctly, though. It's Grist.
Okay, Grist. Sorry.
Yes, Vicki Grist. No, I'm sorry.
But she was also an academic All-American
Morehead
at college.
State, yeah.
Yes, and she took a job interning with the Women's Sports Foundation, and that's an honor.
Picks up the spare. We'll be back with more of this championship match of the Brunswick World Team Challenge from the Showboat. Here at the Showboat, they have just recently renovated to the tune of $18 million, and you see some of the renovation work that has been done here as we move into the second game. Right now, Ebonite Omega's up by 32, and Kelly Everding will start it off. They've had the change of lanes now.
Well, what happens, Jay, is when you change lanes, sometimes there's a difference in the 2 lanes. Oftentimes, there's a difference from pair to pair. But even lane to lane varies. It has to do with the trees, actually, that they cut down and they make the lanes with. They have their own natural hardness, and we want to get them perfect perfectly alike, but it doesn't always happen.
I'm always learning things from you. My goodness, that's interesting. The 10-pin standing for Janelle Poudry.
We see she went Brooklyn, going away Brooklyn, not even close. She's going to have to regroup and maybe talk to her teammates and find out where that shot is or what she's doing wrong.
He was happy to get that one off her hand there. A little extra bounce, and she was able to convert the spare. Lisa Skabinski. They can go up by 42, Ebonite Omegas, with a strike.
That was a good shot. She just came in a little bit high. The ball broke pretty quickly, and she came up high and left the 4-pin. Just knocked the 9-pin out. It's probably the last pin to fall.
Nearly 80% the spares in match play. This team was 5-5 in match play. The Brosh Pro Shops 8-2 in match play competition.
It's amazing we can get all this information, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got more information coming your way too. The high game, Lynn Shoes. Lynn's just missing the finals here. Jill Britton of Pasco, Washington, the high game. Julie Gardner, of course. Beth Owen, the high series of 726 out of Dallas, Texas.
She came up a little high, and they're in a tough situation right now because they're down over 40 pins. They know that every shot counts, and they're probably not used to this situation. The other team, on the other hand, they just want to fill frames. They fill frames, they're going to win this match.
Jeanette Calhoun. Picks up the spare. Qualifying averages, Kim Candidate 223. She was on the Lynn's team. Tish Johnson 217.8. Windy City, the qualifying averages there for the regular qualifying and the Baker for all three of our top teams.
Even though we had some lefties bowl high sets, there's not a lefty on the show today. So I think maybe they had a little problem this week.
You would notice that.
Yes,
quickly.
I would. Tish had the second highest average. She shot a 7. I think she had 7.18 last night. So they felt they were pretty much well on their way, but evidently this morning didn't go that well.
Tara Henderson. Oh, and a mistake there. That could give Brosh an opportunity. They got to fill those frames. We talk about it so often in the Baker system.
And what happens when you miss a spare like that, Jay, you start thinking. And, you know, as you mark along, it's all right. I mean, you don't think you're going to lose. But then when you open, all of a sudden, you get the sweaty palms and then you say, well, maybe this can turn around.
Julie Gardner, member of 93 Team USA, with a big strike there for Brosh Pro Shops. More coming up from Las Vegas in a moment. For Ebonite Omegas. 90 and 91 Bowler of the Year. Problem there.
That's ugly.
Yes, it is. She's left the 3, 4, 6, 7.
Okay, she threw her first shot all the way to the right. Then she packed the shot. Now she moved to the different lane and went high. And when those reactive balls take over on the lane, they're going to leave you something like this. You may get a string of strikes like 5 or 6 in a row, but when you miss, you miss big.
Disappointing. And all of a sudden, this match turning around a bit. And now let's see what Stacy Rider can do.
If she strikes here, everybody better move because there'll be some noise and some hand slapping.
And that strike has turned it around, and it gives Brosh a 1-pin lead.
I think I'd like Stacy throwing a double for me if I needed it. Perfect shot.
All right.
Carolyn Dorin, I think that was her 5th strike. And they're not all solid. They're not all light. She's got a very wide area to strike in.
Dina Brash-Neiman, member of the Southern Cal Women's All-Star team. Boy, real problem there.
Her only savior on that shot is if she hit a rock or something. That was gone. She just lost that. What a shame.
1-3-6-9.
The ball was gone left, and she knew it. Oh, she said shoot.
All right. That's the way to pick it up.
After that mistake, that was a good comeback.
Ebonite up by 3 as they have made a big comeback. Brash Pro Shops, Ebonite in quite a match now, and here's Kelly Everding, the last go-round in this game. Puts them all. And puts them up by 13.
When Kelly rolls the ball, it's slow, it's methodical, her timing is really good, and you don't think the ball's going to do anything, and it just scatters the pins. Well, she crossed over Brooklyn, almost got the break, but here's where the guts come out. I mean, this is where you have to forget your surroundings and you concentrate on your game and nothing else. And it's hard to do. There's a lot of pressure out here, but this is what makes a difference between a great bowler and just a good bowler.
Oh, and there is a big mistake that she wasn't able to convert.
No, that's a killer. It's a killer emotionally. Too bad.
We will return. Is it going to be Ebonite or Brash to go to the championship